We've done some really interesting quantitative work on the cost of remittances and what's driving them down. And clearly, digital is the thing that's driving them down. And in a world of geopolitical fragmentation, we need more of that digital transformation to happen faster. So I'm really excited about many of the different things that are happening. And I couldn't agree more. It started out with like proofs of concept and pilots, but we're really seeing this stuff scale. And that's a very beautiful and exciting thing. But there's still a huge amount of runway.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. Buckle up your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get wild in today's video breakdown, showing you guys the interconnected webs that they are for a fact integrating pre-existing blockchain infrastructures into the new financial system, showing you guys interconnected webs, Ripple, XRP, how they are going to utilize the digital assets in the future, and they're dropping little tiny subtle gems telling you guys exactly this. If you enjoy these video breakdowns and these deep research dives, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the platform. As always, shout out to the CYPRX researchers for finding the vast majority of these video breakdowns. I'd also like to give a shout out to 24 Hours Crypto via a video clip that he sent me that I'm going to utilize for this video breakdown as well. So with that being said, buckle up your seatbelts and let's jump in. Alrighty, so check this out. We're going to start here on this website, MONEX. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, but what is it doing? Modernizing Canadian dollar payments. And it goes on to read right here. Check this out. This is absolutely mind-blowing. The integration connects MONEX to our Canadian payment provider, Remitter. This fintech trifecta offers considerable value to our clients by ensuring the quick and secure delivery of CAD payments and by streamlining the collection of CAD and USD payments in Canada through ACH debit, and coupled with a cross-border settlement between Remitter and MONEX, thus enabling seamless business payments between Canada and USA. RippleNet, Ripple's global network of banks and payment providers, support payments in fiat, aka traditional currencies like US dollars, Canadian dollars, and euro, and is secure, fast, and cost-effective, and an alternative to the legacy SWIFT system. Now,
I think SWIFT will always be here. SWIFT is just a messaging system. It doesn't transfer anything, but anytime you've got a payment to settle an asset transaction or whatever, you need a SWIFT. It involves a SWIFT message. I used to work at the Bank of Canada on the foreign exchange desk. You live and breathe SWIFT. The only thing I can see on the horizon is you've got, say, Ripple. Ripple has a competing project called RippleNet that might be a competitor, but
check this out. This is where it's going to get interesting, and we're going to start to play video clips. So it says right here, working with Ripple also opens up MONEX up to the possibility of directing additional currencies across the network in the future. I highlighted that in blue because it goes on to say RippleNet also allows for the use of the digital asset XRP should future client demand arise. Take a second and listen to this gentleman, Eric, from Ripple, confirm that in the future, once these digital assets are regulated, that the secret sauce to use these blockchain networks effectively and efficiently will be to use the secret sauce, i.e. digital assets, and then listen to a representative also, so that way it's not just Eric making this stuff up, another representative that has collaborated with R3 and Impel say the same exact thing, that integrating digital assets will be the next level. Integrating digital assets will be the next phase, and it is the secret sauce. Take a second and listen.
Now, banks are regulated, conservative, and they're not yet embracing digital currency. So the Ripple software works fiat to fiat. You don't need to send digital currency around. You can send US dollars to Japanese yen, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of the secret sauce, or taking it to the next level, is by leveraging a digital asset to make that transaction much more efficient. Kind of the secret sauce, or taking it to the next level, is by leveraging a digital asset.
Still using Nostro accounts, still using the central bank to settle up at the end of the day. So that would be a blend of the two, as we had talked about earlier. The next generation model is adding the digital assets in the messages payload. The next generation model is adding the digital assets in the messages payload. and you have your own peer-to-peer mechanism to communicate. So that's the easiest way for any existing entity to get involved. If they want to take it to the next level, our next gen solution, that's when we start adding digital assets in the messages payload for instant settlement.
Right. And I find that very interesting. Now, this is also insane. Check this out. So if you go to the solutions and the insights and the about, you can find where it says state licensing on this website. Now, MONEX USA is committed to serving you securely and seamlessly across the United States. We are proud to be one of the first fully licensed and bonded money transmitters in all U.S. states that require licensing and Washington, D.C. Do you people see that? And they are integrated with Ripple. And again, RippleNet allows for the use of the digital asset XRP. This is absolutely monumental via a video clip that I'm going to play later when, again, Jerome Powell confirmed that the digital asset that's going to be utilized in the future will have the highest level of regulatory compliance. I mean, this is insane. Okay, so just check this out. So those who think Ripple and XRP is going away, a company that is licensed to make seamless transactions across the United States is licensed in every freaking single state. I mean, this is absolutely massive. So now let's focus our attention on the European Central Bank. This is a document that was put out August 2022. This is the oldest document that I'm going to show you guys today. Now, the reason why I'm going to show you this document is because this is going to stem onto the fact that I firmly believe that they're integrating Ripple technology into the backend infrastructure and will eventually utilize the digital asset XRP. The devil's in the details. So we're going to scroll all the way down here to page 38, and we're going to read where it says, there is no need, let me zoom in for you guys. It says, there is no need, and again, this is coming from the European Central Bank, for an inefficient proof of work mechanism like the one enabling Bitcoin. Right? So they talk down on Bitcoin. This is going to play an important role in a couple of slides in a second. Now, check this out. On the X space, I put out to you guys a document, and you can see right here. This is updated from February 22nd, 2024. So remember I said this is the oldest document I'm going to show you guys from August 2022. This is updated from February 2024. Digital Euro opens up new opportunities. And right here it says, at the moment, there is no uniform cross-border solution for payments and e-commerce or card payments for the euro area that would be built on the European infrastructure. Again, check this out. Now, we see right here, it mentions, whether the digital euro will be based on distributed ledger technology such as blockchain has not yet been decided. Enabling digital euro transactions to be settled using DLT systems could make it safer, strengthen CBDC's resistance to manipulation, and increase efficiency. Now take a second and listen to this lady go on to confirm on a panel discussion that took place just last year that they are currently in the process of integrating pre-existing blockchain infrastructures into the backend system, and that's the next step. Then listen to Brad Garlinghouse go on to confirm that Ripple is heavily focused on infrastructure and that Ripple is an infrastructure-based company.
Incorporating or integrating those also decentralized finance, the governance models into the blockchain technology. So what would be the main topic of that future blockchain institution in Europe? To put all these things together, to take into account the development of blockchain technology as such. So not only the protocols that are existing under EPSI at the moment, but also to scale up with the other blockchain infrastructures. That was also included in the Digital Europe program and foreseen. So we heard even before in the panels, we haven't achieved mass adoption yet. Yeah, but we can achieve mass adoption also with the integration of additional blockchain protocols and blockchain infrastructures. This is the first thing. Also with the integration of additional blockchain protocols and blockchain infrastructures.
Look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company serving enterprises. We started with payments and financial institutions. We've moved into custody, a lot of overlap with those same financial institutions. But we're going to expand with that same thematic of infrastructure, enterprise-based. It served us well.
Right? And then listen to this reputable individual sitting next to Eric from Ripple going on to confirm that the private sector will most likely be the one who will be enabling cross-border transactions and the movement of money
in their own sense, but then you get into all kinds of liquidity, credit provisioning, regulation, and impact on the banking sector at large. And by and all, I think that the private sector should maintain the primary participant in cross-border, in payments and in cross-border payments in particular.
And then if we go back to a summit that was hosted by Ripple, we have another reputable individual going on to confirm that they are building this new system so that way the private sector can be the ones who move the money and the public sector, i.e. the central banks, will be the issuers of money. Take a second and listen.
But one of the goals for designing this well would be to build a platform upon which the private sector can build higher end services, can make the money usable in other circumstances. So yes, we would want it to be programmable in some sense, not by us, but by the private sector. We supply the money, the private sector makes it usable in various circumstances.
Right, so that lady went on to confirm that they are integrating pre-existing blockchain systems into this new financial system, right? And you heard what Brad Garlinghouse said about being an infrastructure-based company and how their focus is on infrastructure. Well, again, remember that in this document, it says that as of right now, there is no existing cross-border solution via the European infrastructure. But guess who is freaking partnered with the Digital Euro Association? It says right here on Ripple's X profile, we are excited to join the Digital Euro Association as a supporting partner to further develop our work with CBDCs. Now, take a second and listen to this Ripple representative confirm that they are partnered with governments and organizations all over the globe, whom in which some they mention and some in which they keep private.
And nothing is more important to us than the partnerships that we've built with different countries. We're honored to be working globally with many central banks. I think we've publicly released 6 governments that we're working with. Most recently, we announced a partnership with the National Bank of Georgia. We're honored to be working with them. We have several others that we're working with privately. I was interested earlier listening to Evelyn Whitlocks of the ECB talk about different ways that the digital euro will be accessible in the Eurozone. I think she mentioned 3 different ways. One was through an ECB-issued wallet. One would be through a bank-issued wallet. And then the third was sort of on a card concept. And when I heard that, I internalized the complexity of that ecosystem and what will be required. And that's what we think about at Ripple. We think about a CBDC as a full ecosystem that encompasses different instruments, different actors, and ultimately different use cases. So when we think about different instruments, yes, we're talking about central bank digital currency. We're also talking about private money. We're talking about stablecoin, tokenized deposit. We might be talking about native cryptocurrencies.
So again, there's things happening behind the scenes that is not making the mainstream. These interconnected webs, you have to put together yourselves. I physically just showed you guys how, again, this lady is talking about how they're connecting pre-existing blockchain infrastructures. And Brad Garlinghouse literally said that they are an infrastructure-based company, right? And then this website is literally saying that there's no existing solutions when Ripple is the existing solution to this problem that is partnered with the Digital Euro Association. You cannot make this up. Now, let me further blow your mind. Check this out. This is another updated fundamental piece from February 22nd, 2024. Now, we're going to pay attention to this gentleman's name right here, Ulrich Benzeli. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He is the Director General Market Infrastructure and Payments. Okay. Now, check this out. This is something that they said. On the 10th of January, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approved spot exchange trade funds, or the ETF, for Bitcoin. For disciples, the formal approval confirms that Bitcoin investments are safe and preceding rally is proof of an unstoppable triumph. We disagree with both claims and reiterate that the fair value of Bitcoin is still zero. For society, a renewed boom-bust cycle of Bitcoin is a dire perspective, and the collateral damage will be massive, including the environmental damage and the ultimate redistribution of wealth at the expense of the less sophisticated. We're going to full circle and come back to that, so I highlighted that in red. Pay attention. Now, this gentleman right here that's bashing Bitcoin, Ulrich Benzeli, remember in the PDF that I showed you guys from back in 2022, the European Central Bank said that they're not going to utilize Bitcoin, right? It says right here, there's no need for an inefficient proof of work mechanism like the one enabling Bitcoin. We also know that Ripple is partnered with the European Central Bank through the Digital Euro Association, right? You cannot make this up. So remember this guy's name, Ulrich Benzil? Well, do you guys remember that on the 31st of July, 2023, the Bank of International Settlements put this out, Cross-Border Payments Interoperability and Extension Task Force. And you guys remember that Ripple was named as a task force member. Look who is the chair of this organization, Ulrich Benzil, the Direct General Manager, Market Infrastructure and Payments of the European Central Bank, right? And he's the same one telling you guys that Bitcoin is no good for payments. Again, Ripple is integrated with the European Central Bank, right? I just showed you guys that. They're part of the Digital Euro Association to enhance further development and work with CBDCs. And they are also part of this gentleman's organization, whom has told you guys in previous fundamentals that Bitcoin is pretty much trash and that the damage that it's going to cause in the future when it goes bye-bye, according to this gentleman, will be massive, right? You cannot make this stuff up. Ripple is integrated with this cross-border payments interoperability extension task force that is chaired by this gentleman. You think that that's a coincidence? Now, let me further blow your mind. Do you remember this video breakdown? Again, shout out to 24 Hours Crypto of Jerome Powell saying that this global reserve currency will be governed by the private sector and deserves the highest level of regulatory clarity. Do you all remember that? Take a second and listen.
When XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided there'd be 100 billion units because they saw it as a, rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
Potentially fast and wide adoption of a global stablecoin, potentially a global currency governed only by the incentives of a private company.
They saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
Potentially a global currency governed only by the incentives of a private company is something that will deserve and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations.
Now, check this out. The CPMI organization and governance, the Global Economy Meeting, or the GEM, is the governing body of the CPMI. Again, what is the CPMI? This is the CPMI, Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, right? Well, look at this. Who is the freaking chair of the GEM? So it says right here, the CPMI reports to the GEM and through the Economic Consultative Committee, or the ECC, seeks the GEM's endorsement for major decisions. Look who is the freaking chair of the Global Economy Meeting. Jerome Powell, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. What? Is that not mind-blowing? So you see, Ripple is here. Ripple is interconnected with the CPMI, who is chaired by an individual of the European Central Bank, Ulrich, I hope I'm not butchering his name, Benzil, right? Correct? Okay. Who is telling you all that Bitcoin is trash. In a previous document, the ECB also told you guys Bitcoin is trash. Who's partnered with the ECB? Ripple. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing right now? Or am I just, you get what I'm saying? Okay, so now that we're tapped in, last but not least, remember I mentioned to you guys in this document at the bottom, I highlighted in red, it says the ultimate redistribution of wealth at the expense of the less sophisticated, right? Well, let's look at this Goldman Sachs updated fundamental piece from their LinkedIn. And it says right here, Goldman Sachs and China warning, bracing for the great wealth transfer and more. This is updated from March 8th, 2024. Now, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom of this, and it says right here, despite the challenges and uncertainties, the panelists noted that the period of crisis often fosters innovation, with some of the best companies emerging during such times. The accessibility of launching new fintech ventures was highlighted, suggesting the next wave of innovation may be characterized by a more measured, purpose-driven approach. This sentiment reflects a shift from previous years' exuberance to a more deliberate focus on solving real-world problems in financial services. What have XRP and Ripple enthusiasts been telling you guys? That eventually we're going to shift and migrate into an era of real-world value and utility. And XRP has the potential to facilitate those roles. So take a second and listen to Eric confirm that.
Yeah, please.
So we're going to solve cross-border payments. 5 minutes, guys. Go. Synchronize your watches. I think there's never been more political will to solve this problem. I think the technology has ripened to a point where people are no longer terrified by something just because it's new. You might disagree. They're more terrified than they should be, but they should be more courageous.
There's self-inflicted wounds as an industry, right, that have happened and have caused people to be scared. And so I think we're going to need to see more good actors that are acting, responsibly, that think about compliance first and foremost versus, it's some bother that I have to deal with. We need governments to step up and provide regulatory clarity. I think we see some great examples of that around the world, in Singapore, in the UAE, in the UK, not so much in the US. And so, if you have clear rules, you have people who follow the rules, and then companies can innovate and invest with confidence that there's going to be an ROI, and they're not going to get rug pulled because some government who hasn't chosen to sort of be explicit about what you can and can't do is going to surprise them. So it's a combination of things, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, obviously, a good product, good service that solves a real world problem, provides real utility. It's not just about speculation and get rich quick and pumping up the price of crypto. I mean, all these things will line up. I think they're starting to line up. I see the companies are really stepping up. Certain jurisdictions, certain governments are stepping up. So I think a lot of reasons to be optimistic.
It is not some get rich quick scheme, not some rug pull, right? That there's going to be a shift into real world value and utility. So with that all in mind, I know that it was a lot of information to process, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video breakdown as much as I enjoyed researching the information and sharing it with you all. This is not investing advice. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and buy the digital asset XRP. The proof is in the pudding and the devil is in the details. These interconnected and intertwined webs cannot be ignored. Now, I'm not sitting here confirming that they are going to use the digital asset in the future, but all the clues point to Ripple's integration with the new financial system that they are building and the utilization of the digital asset XRP in the future. All the rails are being built. All the legalities are being worked out. All the connections are being worked on behind the scenes. You cannot make this stuff up. With that all being said, many blessings to you guys. As always, do your own research, be cognizant, be aware out there, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe before you head off, and we'll see you all in the next video breakdown.